Covergirl here, Duke. Not a reptile in sight.
What's up, YouTubers and Joe fans? Welcome back. Today's video, we're going to do something different. We're going to spotlight a particular character. And for our very first spotlight video, we're going to concentrate on the 2013 F.S.S. G.I. Joe Collectors Club, Courtney, Krieger, aka Covergirl. Now, joining the Collectors Club Covergirl, I brought in on camera some of the other Covergirls I actually have in my collection, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to get them in front of the camera. First off, here's the 1983 Covergirl. She's an O-ring figure with swivel arm battle grip, and up to this point, she was the second only female to be released in the G.I. Joe American Hero line. The first female, of course, being Shana O'Hara, or aka Scarlet. Now, if you take a look at the yojo.com website, it gets a little confusing. They're actually referring to this one as version 1, and when the DTC line came out, they're actually calling this version 1 as well. Now, in order to acquire this version of Covergirl, she actually came in a comic 3-pack with Spirit and Hannibal Reborn. Now, for the time period, she's an absolutely beautiful figure. Yes, she is an O-ring, but the sculpting and paint on this is really, really well done. And once again, I'm a little confused as to why yojo.com categorizes both of these as version 1. I don't know, maybe because they're both O-rings? I'm not really sure. Alright, up next, in 2009, they actually did a live-action movie, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and they released this version of Covergirl. Now, unfortunately, this version of Covergirl didn't see a lot of screen time. She was stationed in the pit, and unfortunately, Zartan made sure that her screen time was cut short, unfortunately to her demise. Now, a lot of collectors really don't like this version of Covergirl because I will agree the head sculpt is not that feminine, but I do like her. I mean, her uniform is fantastic. She does match other Joes in the team. But for today's spotlight video, we're going to concentrate on this beautiful figure right here. The 2013 F.S.S. or Figure Subscription Service version of Covergirl. Now, this elusive version of Covergirl is considered version 3. Now, this figure sculpt is absolutely beautiful. She's very feminine looking. She has all the modern articulation for the time period. The colors are spot on. And let me look at the head sculpt here real quick. If I spin her around, she has a strawberry blonde or orangish type hair. Now, one thing that I find really curious or interesting is, if you look at the DTC version, they had the same exact head sculpts. Now, if you have trouble finding the FSS version, go ahead and try to track down the DTC version. I'll flip them around here so you can see that they are exactly the same head sculpt. Of course, the one on the left, it has brown hair, and the one on the right has like the orangish blonde hair. Now, unfortunately, the DTC version is rather pricey as well. Alright, let's take a look at the paint and sculpt real quick and get her off the stand here. Now, she does come in a tan jumpsuit. Get this to focus. Alright. She has really feminine features. She has this removable brown vest with faux fur on it. She does come with this gray pistol or silver pistol. I have slung her rifle on her back with a clear elastic so I don't lose it. Now, this rifle has a lot of great details on it as well. You can see her flowing hair. If I spin her around, you can see that the paint on the arms match the vest perfectly. She does have a molded on brown belt with a silver half moon type buckle on it. Also, this black removable belt. Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these FSS figures are really expensive on the aftermarket. I did do a quick search on eBay before starting this video, and she's fetching quite a hefty price. Alright, let's take a look at her file card next. Now, the file card reads G.I. Joe Vehicle Specialist. Codename, Courtney Covergirl Krieger. Primary military specialty, motor transport operator. Second military specialty, armored fighting vehicle mechanic. She's a grade E4, and her birthplace is Peoria, Illinois. Her Covergirl was a fashion model in Chicago and New York prior to enlistment. She grew disillusioned with the shallow world of modeling and joined the military to take her life in a more meaningful direction. Now, instead of being swathed in silk, she is covered in grease and couldn't be happier. She is proficient in diesel mechanics and gas turbine technology, can perform diagnostics, maintenance, and repair on any AFV that rolls into the vehicle bay, and can even fabricate new parts from scrap metal in the field. This glamour girl turned grease monkey feels completely at home in the G.I. Joe garage, where her only real challenge is fending off advances from some of the team's more enamourous lug nuts. The quote at the bottom states, "People realize I'm more than just a pretty face when they bring me their busted up vehicles, and I give it back to them running smoothly and ready for battle." Alright, let's go over articulation next and get the pistol out of the way so I don't drop it. Her arms do go all the way around in this fashion. She does have a joint at the shoulder, which goes in and out. She does bend 90 degrees at the elbow, and this also swivels 360 degrees if need be. Her hand does swivel 360 degrees, but unfortunately it doesn't pivot up and down. She does have a diaphragm joint, which she can swivel back and forth. Now there's no waist swivel, of course. Looking at the head sculpt, it's on a typical neck peg, and she can look left and right. Now the rigid hair does hinder it a little bit. Not so much any up and down, but rotating back and forth. She can do the splits really well. She can kick forward really well. She does have double jointed knees, and these click into place. Now coming down to her feet, straighten her leg out here. She can toe up, toe down, and of course these rotate 360 degrees. All the standard articulation for the time period, and all the articulation you need for this particular figure. One more thing I'd like to do is, on all my G.I. Joe videos, I want to see if these modern figures fit in that vintage Wolverine in the back. Alright, now we all know that the 1983 Covergirl, grab her right here, fits into the vintage Wolverine. But I thought it'd be fun to try all these other modern figures. So the first one up is the DTC version, and as you can see, she fits in there absolutely perfectly. She sits nice and low, her hands are down inside. I think she looks absolutely amazing in this Wolverine. Alright, next up we're going to try the Rise of Cobra Covergirl, and as you can see, she doesn't fit inside this Wolverine too well. Unfortunately, she's just too tall. The cockpit ends right around here, and I tried bending her legs, and I tried every trick in the book, and I don't want to just smash her in there, so, unfortunately, she is just a little bit too tall. So let's get her out of here and move on to the next one. And for the last Covergirl, the F.S.S. version, and, well, unfortunately, as you can see, she also is a little too tall. Spin it to the side here. I tried my best to get her in there. I did try bending her legs and pushing her in there, but I just don't want to break the figure. And unfortunately, she does look okay in here. I mean, it's completely up to you and your judgment. If you put this on the shelf, I mean, she does look decent. Now, if we look at all the modern figures here, the clear winner in my book is the DTC version. Grab her right here. If I had to pick, this would be the Covergirl I'd stick in this Wolverine. In modern form, of course. Let me grab the 1983 version and stand them side by side. And as you can see, they're pretty similar in size. Well, actually, the more I look at it, the DTC one is actually shorter. She does fit in that Wolverine really well. Now, of course, the decision is completely yours, but I just thought this would be kind of fun to see which modern Covergirl fits in this vintage Wolverine. Alright, this is going to wrap up my very first Spotlight action figure review. In today's video, of course, we looked at the 2013 F.S.S. Courtney Covergirl Krieger action figure. She's an absolutely beautiful figure with great sculpting, really feminine looking, and the articulation is where it needs to be for the time period. Now, of course, there are other Covergirls out on the market now, and Super 7 released a 5 points of articulation Covergirl not too long ago. They also just recently released an O-ring version of Covergirl with some modern articulation, or articulation from the 80s, if you will. Now, for you 6-inch or 1/12 scale collectors, Super 7 released the Ultimate Covergirl. And of course, we can't forget Hasbro's classified version of Covergirl, which is a little bit more realistic and not so based on the cartoon like Super 7 versions. Alright, let's wrap this video up. And I'd really like to thank you guys for taking time out of your day to come visit my little corner of the YouTube verse. Thank you again for watching, and of course, if you like what you see, join the community. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and why not hit that bell for future notification of upcoming videos. But of course, most importantly, always help a fellow collector out and share your knowledge. Yo, Joe!
Yo, Joe!